Samsung, the Center of Innovation. We are Lecture 6, Group 4. Samsung is a global IT industry with 270 worldwide operation hubs around the world, with operating in 73 countries such as South Korea, North America, Europe, Southeast Asia, Africa, and more. Samsung's main headquarters is shown in this picture above. It's their IT and electronic hub. It's located in Suwon, South Korea, and is called Samsung Town. Samsung's electronic scope is in this picture above, and it includes the various aspects in electronic markets such as computers, portable consumer electronics, peripherals, in-home consumer electronics, device solutions, and digital appliances. Samsung's employee size is 3,200,671 employees. In this picture above, it shows Samsung's employee volunteer program. In 2010, it was created and gives employees the opportunity to volunteer.
So Samsung has experienced some ups and downs in its annual revenue. Back in 2012, Samsung generated 228 trillion Korean won in revenue. However, that number dipped down to 200 in 2015, but climbed back up to 239 in 2017, which overall was an almost 5% increase. That 2017 revenue is made up mostly of two categories: mobile communications, which is your cell phones, and then device solutions, which is your cell phone components like semiconductors and display panels. In that cell phone market, Samsung controls 19.5% of the market. That number really hasn't varied by more than 2 or 3% over the past 3 years, which is pretty typical for a large established organization like Samsung. Finally, Samsung does try to engage with its users on social media, and in comparison to its competitor Apple, has about half of the followers on Instagram, but has more than 3 or 4 times the followers on both Facebook and Twitter.
Samsung's direct competitors are companies that specializes in consumer electronic products such as television, smartphone, audio, and home appliances. Some of its direct competitors include smartphone companies such as Oppo and Huawei, and then there's Apple, Sony, and LG. LG is its closest competitor because it offers the same product as Samsung, which includes home appliances. Most of Samsung's indirect competitors offer products or services for recreational activities. For example, movie theater, bookstore, or recreational centers. Because the more the consumer spends its time watching a movie, reading a book, or playing sports, then the less time it has to use its smartphone or television for entertainment.
Samsung is facing some macro-environmental issues that will mean that the company will either have an opportunity or a threat. For example, there are some ecological forces that Samsung needs to take into account. Companies need to be more environmentally friendly into their products and their production process. They need to seek more renewable energy sources, and they need to reduce their carbon footprint emissions. Samsung aims to reduce their carbon footprint emissions by 250 million tons by the year 2020. On the other hand, technology is a big factor for Samsung. Samsung deals with all of technology, so Samsung needs to be more innovative, and their products need to be more in the demand of the customers by innovation. Also, Samsung faces some political and regulatory forces. Samsung is located in South Korea, which needs to understand that North Korea and South Korea have always had tensions. Also, Samsung wants to expand their borders abroad. So they want to go to continents like Africa or Latin America, and Samsung needs to understand that those continents have always had governmental tensions. Finally, there are some economic forces that are driving Samsung. For example, the South Korean won is appreciating, which will mean higher costs for the external buyers, which will mean that Samsung will have less sales. Also, Samsung is still facing the global economic crisis, which will mean that buyers will have less purchasing power and will buy less for Samsung.
Samsung mainly has 4 product areas: digital media, semiconductor, telecommunication network, LCD, and LED. Semiconductor, which is the cell phone area, is their largest product area. It is estimated there are 36% of the global population who uses or owns a cell phone in 2018. And we expect that number to increase in the next couple of years, which means that Samsung's potential market size is going to increase. Furthermore, Samsung stands at 20.9% of market share in 2018, and they're really a fast follower who is always attuned to their competitors. And this is the third year in a row of their increase in market share. Last but not least, the company has a 21.6% of smartphone shipments worldwide. In comparison, Apple only has 15% of smartphone shipments, and they are only the second largest cell phone vendors.
Geographically, Samsung's customers tend to be located in Asian countries and America. Demographically, they tend to be aged between 25 and 34 years old, and they are primarily Asian consumers that shop with Samsung as well. Additionally, their average customer tends to make about $100,000 to $125,000 a year in income. For behavioral aspects, they typically buy 1 to 2 items per basket, and they primarily shop in either the afternoon or the evening. Additionally, something interesting about Samsung is they do this thing called demographic segmentation, which basically means that they split up their customers into different categories, such as a student or a business professional, and then they tailor those products to meet those specific customers' needs, and this allows them to reach a broader market.